Hi, my name is Gisela Marti, Creative Director for Tammy Taylor Nails. The techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you today are super simple and very easy to be applied to any design. The guest artists, Tammy Taylor Elegance Gel Color Polishes and Gel Art Paints. Are you ready? So let's get started. The products that we are going to be using for this Britches and Stitches design would be the following. From the gel art paints, we're going to be working with the white, the gold, and the black. As Elegance Gel Color Polishes, we're going to be working with the Strawberry Marine, the Saharan Nights, so this is Love, Electric Sky, Mediterranean Sea, French Vanilla. We're going to be needing the Into the Matte Top Coat. We're also going to be using the Flawless Foundation. As tools, we're going to be working with the manicure brush. We're going to be working with our bold striper, long striper, and also our three-dimensional brush. You're going to be needing also the dotting tool. From the Prisma powder, we're going to be working with the Hot After Midnight and the Light Peach. As liquid, we need the A+ liquid, our Clean It. We're going to be working with our small crystal dampened dish. You're going to be needing your nourishing oil as finishing. And last but not least, our wipes and towelettes. Okay, the first technique that I want to show you, it is the washout technique. As you see over here, I have some samples of it. I have over here the stars and stripes. You can see how the colors look like they are washed out. We have over here the jeans look also has the washout technique. And also I have over here the design that we are going to be working today. You can see how it looks like it's fading, it's washed out. So let's get started. I already have my nail prepared for the washout technique. The first step would be the application of the Flawless Foundation. You're going to cure on the lamp. If you're using UV, you're going to cure for 2 minutes, and if you're using LED, for 1 minute. After that, I applied the French Vanilla Gel Color Polish, and you're going to follow the same curing instructions. Okay, now it's done, and what I'm going to do now is the application of the color. Let me show you how much color you need to have. As you see, when I take my brush out, I'm going to wipe as much as possible of the color. My brush has to have the minimum amount of color. See? Okay, so let's do the application. I'm going to take my nail that already has the color, and I'm going to brush, opening the brush as much as possible. Don't worry if you see that there is almost no color, because that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So, and I'm going to apply, opening the brush, polishing with the residues of what I have left on my brush. And there we go. But I want to put a second color. If I'm going to put the second color, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did with my first color. I want to take all the excess of the color completely out. I'm using over here Mediterranean Sea, and as you see, what I'm doing is just going over the first color to create that look. And this is it. This is my washout technique. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cure it. If you're using UV, 2 minutes. And if you're using LED, would be for 1 minute. Okay, now that I explained how to do the washout technique, we actually going to do it. I'm going to start with my first color. And remember, we're going to be using 2 colors. You can use 1 if you want to, but for this design, I'm going to use 2 different colors. I'm going to start on the center, and I'm going to polish all the way to the end. Polish all the way to the end on the sides, Once you do the sides, polish down again. Remember, you're going to open as much as possible the brush because all what you want to deposit is just a little bit of that color. You don't have to worry about if the color is going to be lost, because one of the great things of the Elegance gel color polishes is that the pigment is very intense. So you're going to have this color for a while on the nail design. My second color, just a little bit, because I want to be sure that I can see the blue, the dark blue. The first one that I put was the electric blue. And now I'm applying the Mediterranean Sea. It's done. Now I'm going to cure. Remember, if you use a UV lamp, you're going to cure for 2 minutes. And if you're going to use an LED, it would be for 1 minute. Okay, it's already cured. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some long, thin lines using my long striper. And the colors that I'm going to be using is the peach, which is the So This Is Love, and the Saharian Nights, which is a deep orange. And as you see, I put it close. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass my long striper because I want it to be peach, but I also wanted the intense color of the orange. So I'm going to start on the center. I'm going to place my brush, and then I'm going to pull all the way down. See how easy? Super simple. Load the brush again, and side by side, I'm going to put a second line. Put the tip first, and then as you go, pull the brush. I'm going to leave a space in between, a white space in between, and then I'm going to do my next line. My next line a little bit higher. Super easy. This brush is your best helper. And side by side, my second line. I'm going to go to the other side. Remember, you have to load the brush again because as you pull it, you took most of the color out. There we go. Back again. Very thin lines. So you actually are working with the tip of the brush. One more over here, short. And maybe one more on the other side. And this is it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cure the lines. Remember, if you're using UV, it's going to be 2 minutes. And if you're using LED, 1 minute. Now that it's completely cured, my next step would be to seal the whole nail using my matte top coat. And I'm going to cure just the same. If you're using UV, 2 minutes, or if you're using LED, would be 1 minute. Okay, now that is completely cured, and I clean the surface with my Clean It, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black gel art paint, and I'm going to do a white line or a white strip all the way up from one side to the other. And don't worry, if you don't have enough paint, just load it again and bring it all the way up, okay? What we're doing over here, we're doing a belt. So we want to be sure that it has a lot of color. Once it's done, you're going to take a small spoon and the Hot After Midnight powder, the Prisma powder, and you're going to pour it over the black strip that you just did. And you're going to do it a couple of times. Not just one time, but a couple of times. Let it go. Put it again. That's 2. And now the third time, I want to be sure that it's covered completely. And now I'm going to cure. Same curing time. 2 minutes if it's UV, 1 minute if it's LED. Okay, once it's cured, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust the excess of the powder. And once I dust the excess of the powder, I want to clean the whole surface with my Wipe It and my Clean It, because I want to be sure that the whole design doesn't get disturbed. Okay, now that everything is completely done or is set up, I'm going to put a piece of a decal right here, my nail. Once I place it, and you can choose any kind of decal. You can have the water decals, you can have the rubber ones, whichever you want. In this particular case, this is a water decal. So I place it. I want to be sure that the excess of the water is completely out. So I'm going to take my towel and drain the excess of the water, so she's completely flat. Okay, so I'm going to take my bowl striper, and I'm going to take a little bit of the black, and actually not a little bit more than a little bit, you see? And I'm going to outline my decal. Okay, outline. And I want to outline completely, or make a wide line, not too narrow, because I'm going to put stitches on that black line, and if it's too thin, it's not going to show. So it's completely outlined. Once I finish outlining, I'm going to cure. And once again, like I told you before, if you're using a UV lamp, it's going to be 2 minutes. If you're using LED, it's going to be 1 minute. Okay, now that is completely cured, there's 2 things I want to do. The first thing I want to do is I want to seal my decal. And I want to seal it exactly with the same matte top coat. I want to be sure that she's not going anywhere. The second thing I want to do is I want to do the buckle. And the buckle of the belt is going to be with my gold. And I'm really going to take a lot of the paint. As you see, I have a lot on the tip of my bowl striper. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make like a comma. Take more color, meet the top, and go all the way down. More. I want to have a load of color all the way down. And now I'm going to cure. Same instructions, 2 minutes under UV and 1 minute on LED. Okay, now that everything is in place, I'm going to take a little bit of my gold to do the middle part of the buckle. And right there, just a tiny line. I'm going to clean my brush. Always twirl. And I'm going to do now the stitches that are going to go around my decal. And look how small is the amount of color that I'm picking up. Just with a tiny tip. I'm going to start right on the corner and I'm going to make short lines. Right there. Now I'm going to go down. And those are the stitches of the piece of fabric. Because what we're trying to do over here is just believing that we have a piece of fabric and we're sewing to the pants. So here we have all the stitches. Okay. If you want to put stitches somewhere else, you can do it. I'm going to put some stitches right here. Right there. With the same color white, I'm going to put over here 2 lines, 2 thin lines. Two thin line, just to give an impression that the belt is passing through there. Gonna do the same thing on the top. This is optional. If you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, you can leave the belt the way it is. I want to do it. I want to place it both sides a little bit lower. Okay, a little bit lower. And I'm going to cure now. Remember, once again, 2 minutes UV, LED, 1 minute. We almost finished with the whole design. Everything that has to do with gel is already done. All what I did over here was I took the same bold striper with a tiny bit of the black, and I outlined a little bit some areas like the buckle and the belt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a button. And I'm going to take my 3-dimensional brush and I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to take all the excess of the liquid completely out. And with the straight position, I'm going to grab a small ball. There we go. I'm going to place it right there. And I'm going to wait a couple of seconds until it flows. Once it flows, be sure to take all the excess of the liquid out. And do it by twirling the brush. Want to be sure that the point is there. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pat just a tiny bit, pat. Going to wait a couple of seconds. I can even move it a little bit higher, my button, because the acrylic is not set up yet. I want to be sure that I see that edge. There we go. Now we're going to take the dotting tool with the small part and I'm going to poke the button or the round that I put over there, and I'm going to make 2 small holes. Wait a couple of seconds and then you remark again. Remark. My button, I use the light peach because it goes with the colors of the patch. And this is the design. How easy was that? I'm sure that if you take these techniques, these very simple techniques, and you apply to your personal designs, your clients are going to love it. Until next time, have fun.